My name is Trinity, and I really like fairy tales, but I realized recently that I only know kind of the Anglo-Saxon ones or the European ones, Grimm's, Hans Christian Andersen, those types. So I want to try and find some other ones that I haven't heard. So this one comes out of, just says West Africa, but it was translated in like the early 1900s by some dude, so that's not horribly surprising. Somewhere on the western part of Africa. So, who can break a bad habit? One day, in a forest, a rabbit and a monkey were sitting under a tree by a river. Every few minutes, the monkey scratched himself with his long finger. First he scratched his neck, then he scratched his ribs. Stretching his long arms around him, he even scratched his back. Scratching like this is a habit of monkeys. The rabbit close by was no quieter. Every few minutes he sniffed the air. His nose wrinkled and twitched. His long ears flopped as he turned his head from one side to the other. This is the way of all rabbits. They seem always afraid that some danger is near. Each animal noticed the movements of the other, and at last the rabbit could stand the monkey scratching no longer. "Why do you keep scratching yourself, friend?" he said to the monkey, who was then rubbing an ear. "You are not still a single minute. Always, oh, all the time your nails are digging away at your hide. This is the most annoying habit you have." Now, nobody really enjoys being scolded. So the monkey replied in the same tone of voice, "My habit is no more annoying than yours, my good rabbit. You do not keep still either. Your nose wrinkles and twitches. Your long ears keep flapping. Every few minutes you turn your silly head from one side to the other as if you were afraid." "Well, perhaps I do twitch my nose and turn my head, but I can easily stop," the rabbit declared. "I'll bet that you can't, although I myself could easily keep from scratching if I really wanted to." The monkey clasped both of his forepaws together. They argued back and forth. "I can stop my habit, but you cannot. If you can, I can." So it went on until at last the monkey broke off. "We'll make a test," he suggested. "We'll see which one of us is strong enough to break his bad habit. I'll bet you I can keep quite still for the whole afternoon, and I'll bet you cannot." Good! There was nothing the rabbit could do but agree. The one who moves first will lose the bet. He gave his head one last turn and his nose one last twitch. There they both sat under the tree by the West African river. Not one move did either make, but each looked very unhappy. Never in all his life did the skin of that monkey feel so dry and so itchy. The rabbit's heart was cold with his fear of the unseen danger that might be behind him. But the monkey did not scratch, and the rabbit did not turn his head. It was not really very long. A beetle passing by had crawled only a few yards along the river bank, but it seemed to the two animals that they had not moved for a whole day. "What shall I do?" the poor rabbit was thinking hard. "I cannot keep still very much longer. If I could only sniff once, just once! If I could but turn my head halfway around, then it would not be so bad." At the same time, the monkey's hide was burning and itching. "I cannot keep from scratching much longer," the beast said to himself. "If only I could rub myself without the rabbit seeing me." It was the rabbit who spoke first. "The time is long, friend monkey. Of course I am quite comfortable. I am entirely easy in my mind, dear monkey. But the sun is still high in the sky. Why should we not tell each other a story to make the afternoon pass more quickly?" "Well, why not?" The monkey suspected the rabbit was thinking of playing some trick, but he only added, "Yes, rabbit, let us, each one, tell a story." "I'll begin, my friend monkey. I will tell you of one day last month when I was far out of this forest. I was alone in a clearing, and there was not one bush to hide me." Here the monkey broke in. He did not yet know what trick the rabbit had thought of, but he knew he should be prepared. "Oh, rabbit," he cried, "that very same thing once happened to me." "Now, don't interrupt." The rabbit was impatient to get on with his tale. "I heard a noise in the tall grass on this side of me." Like any storyteller, he naturally turned his head to show how it was. "I saw some hyenas running toward me. One came from this side, one came from the other side." Again and again the rabbit's head was turned to illustrate his tale. "Other hyenas came after them, from the right, from the left, from behind, and before me." Oh, now the rabbit was having a fine time, turning his head and twitching his nose. Anyone telling of so many dangers would have to do the same thing. The monkey soon saw what his friend was up to. The moment the rabbit stopped to get breath, he began his own story. "One day," he cried, "I went to the village on the other side of the forest. Some boys saw me there, and they began to throw stones at me. One hit me here." The monkey reached up and rubbed his neck to show where the stone hit. Oh, and it did feel good to get in just that one little scratch. "Another stone hit me here." The monkey rubbed his shoulder. Another, and another stone came. Now the creature's paw was flying from one itching place to another. The rabbit burst out into a laugh. He laughed and he laughed and he laughed. The monkey laughed too. Each had guessed the other's reason for telling his story the way he had. The two animals laughed so hard that they had to hold on to each other to keep from rolling into the water. Well, well, the monkey cried, I have not yet lost the bet. No more have I, said the rabbit. We were each of us only telling a tale as it should be told. But we must agree, friend, he continued. It's very hard indeed to break a bad habit. No one ever easily changes his ways. Let us worry no more. So the rabbit's nose wrinkled and twitched again as often as he wished. His long ears flopped as his round head turned every few minutes from one side to the other. The monkey's paws scratched his hide wherever it itched, and from that day to this, no member of either of these animal families has kept very long still unless he was asleep. As a fidgety person, I love this story, and I just think it's cute and, yeah, fun. So, first video, let me know in the comments if you watched this, like, subscribe, and, hi to my mom and mother-in-law, probably the only ones who are going to see this.